Alrighty.
All right, so here we are. We're doing week three. We've got Big A here casting with me. Moose had to feeling under the weather, so we'll hopefully he'll be better for next week. But we will carry on regardless. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I guess we'll start. We'll just pick up. Let's pick up with America's A week three, and we'll mark on the scorecards. So Super Jail and Dearest Children has not gotten played yet. My money is on Dearest Children is not coming back to the league since they, I think, also, hey Aim, they also did not play last week. So
Uh,
I doubt we will see them in future weeks, but we'll see.
well,
Um,
that'll be interesting. It'll open up a spot for a fresh team to mix some things up in America's A.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough, I think, for whoever steps in because they don't. I believe they get the. I guess they get the development or some of the development from to like bring them up to speed, but they don't get the any points from the early wins. So they're gonna have to to win a fair amount to get into the playoffs. Although
Right.
coming in at like four is not, I don't know. It's getting into iffy territory, I think, for that.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
So first up, we've got my game with Candymen. That was a rough one. It did not go the way I had hoped. Well, it went the way I expected, but not the way we had predicted. Um, I could not quite make it down the field during my drive, and then they just bashed their way through. Fortunately, I didn't. I've lost. I've got some linemen. Lino's not showing up next game, but no major casualties were taken, and I got a level up on a berserker and a yeti. So
Yeah,
that
you did get some nice level ups this
yeah,
week.
will hopefully be in a better spot for next week. Um, Candyman looks like they picked up a level up on a blitzer and two levels up on blitzers. So that's I feel for whoever they're playing next week.
Yeah, leveling up on the blitzer is some of the most important you can on an orc team,
Yeah.
and it really just lets you flesh out your capabilities.
Skull Raisers and Stags. We got that one wrong as well. So 2-0 to the Skull Raisers, which is that's a pretty solid score right there. Um,
Yeah, this is undead versus
Undead and
Brett's.
Brett's, I believe. Yep. Yep.
Mm,
Looks like the Undead did a lot of bashing. That four badly
yeah,
hurts to no casualties on the other side.
they
Um,
really got a lot of good armor breaks, especially in relation to just their block ratios, and they just knocked out the
mm,
enemy team. And I think they took all the numbers.
yeah, that's a pretty lopsided game from the bash perspective. Well, I mean,
Mhm.
the blocks are very similar, but like you say, they just broke armor significantly more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not a well, let's see. What did they? So they picked up a level on a ghoul on another one of their ghouls and a level on a zombie. So not a lot of good development there from this game for them.
They are going to bring
Um,
in most likely a dirty player on that zombie, and it really fleshes out their ability to bash more,
yeah,
which kind of scary for future people playing against them.
they don't have a bench yet, right? Yeah, they're still at 11. So
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know what kind of money they have after this game. Um, I would suspect they have a bit of a bank, so they might. I could see them picking up a bench as well. 70K.
Yeah.
They've got three rerolls. I don't know if they're are they are there any more positions they can get? I don't think
I don't believe so.
they took block on the zombie. Interesting.
They did. They did take block. Very
They
interesting.
a lot of block. Just laying down
I
a
guess they're just gonna try to keep playing the bash game
yeah, a
and
nice
make their goals really hard to hit.
uh huh. Um, the Stags, so 2 blockers. Oh no, badly hurt. They'll all be back next game. So
Yeah,
that's
they'll be up
that's
and
pretty good for
running.
them. Leveled up a blocker, but not a. I would say not a very positive game for them overall.
No, absolutely not. But at least they didn't take it too hard, and hopefully they'll be able to come back next week with a little bit less of armor breaking towards them.
AIM is pointing out that sometimes the website is behind relative to the in-client chat. So yeah, that makes sense. I don't have the client open and it's kind of slow, so I'm gonna stick with the website, but don't expect some surprises. Anyone who's like, check out your opponent, I would say. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so Two Dog Day took it 2-0 against the Dark Elves.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It really just looks like the Dark Elves were outpositioned in this match. They were allowed to get punched a lot,
Yep. Yeah,
and
that's
it
a.
really led to Armor 7.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, and 3 surfs. They
Oh
leaving
yeah,
yourself three. Leaving yourself open to 3 surfs is that's that's gonna be rough. They did
Mm,
only lose a lineman, so that's. I mean, as far as the
that's
person to
more
get
positive.
get killed is, it could be worse.
Yeah,
Um,
and they were able to get a level on a blitzer.
Level to blitzer. Yep. It looks like they're going straight blodge with all their blitzers. So
Yeah, they're trying to make their stuff a little bit harder to hit. Hopefully, keep them a little bit safer in future matches.
yep. Um,
But Two Dog Day got some pretty nice level ups. They got a level up on both their werewolf and their white.
uh huh.
Uh, Probably going to get another block on that werewolf. Now, I don't really know how you level
I,
up whites,
I
but
think they actually they got an agility up on the werewolf. I was looking at doing some opposition research since I'm playing them next, and yes, they took agi up on the werewolf, and then what did they take? I forget what they took on the white, but
the agility up is really useful on the werewolf, though. That'll be
yeah,
really nice for them.
especially because they don't have any ghouls. Necro gets ghouls, right? I think they do. They can,
I'm not sure, but
but they don't. Yeah, they don't have a. Yeah,
they don't really have an agility player at the moment.
right. So yeah, I expect that wolf will be the ball handler, and then the other one is clearly. AIM confirms Necro could get 2 ghouls, but they don't have any right now. Yeah, and then black and white is gonna be their killer. It looks like so. But yeah, 2-0, 2-0 for the Necros. Pretty good score on that. Pretty good result in that match.
Yeah, it's really good for Necros. They'll definitely be looking to continually level up those werewolves and hopefully get some more levels on their white
Yep,
and kind of flesh out their SPP.
yep. And then lastly, we've got Capsicum Commandos and the Blizzard Lizards, which the Lizards took it 2-1. They did a lot of armor breaking. 5 casualties. That's rough.
That is really rough.
That's It does not seem like the what do they call it? The Kislev was able to keep out of the Saurus's way, would be my guess. What do we?
Yeah, it really, it does seem like it, and the block numbers kind of reflect that as well. Uh, the Saurus must have been able to just position a little bit better than Kislev, and they weren't quite able to take advantage of their agility advantage.
Apparently, a skink got a Kaz.
That is a thing that happened. Yeah.
The lizard team is also coming out of this looking pretty solid. They have 3 Saurus with levels after this.
Yeah, I looked at them earlier, and they ended up taking one a block on the Saurus, but one of the really interesting level ups was on their skink
They I
because
see I'm seeing a block on the skink. I don't know if that was from this game or from a
they
previous game.
yeah, that was from the
Oh,
previous
that's the
game.
previous one. Yeah.
The one right below it got a level up as well, and they ended up taking catch, which was really interesting.
Huh. So
Um,
going for a sort of passing options, I guess.
yeah, I'll be really interested to see how they play later on in the season.
Yeah. But yeah, it looks like a pretty brutal match for the Kislev. Although only one injury, so they
Yeah,
came out the other
thankfully only one.
yeah came out the other side not too bruised. Um, all right, well that covers A. So America's B. You
Yeah,
want to lead us through America's B at this point?
sure. Um, America's B. We look at the first match is against Manhack's Humans against the Chorfs. Uh, Manhack was able to take it with the 2-1. Um, he really took the bash game, or he really got to push his agility advantage against the Chorfs. As well as he got a really good cast, well, not a cast, but a kill on the Bull Centaur,
Mm,
one of the most important units for Chorfs, and was just able to get more effect out of his blocks with the armor breaks, and seems to be able to have played a little bit of the agility game with a completion and quite a bit of running.
did the bull die on a GFI or a dodge?
Oh, he may have
Because
because he didn't cause the kill.
yeah, Manhack did not get credit for the kill, and he did not surf, so that rules out the
Ooh,
audience. So looks like the dirt killed it, which is
that's
a sad state of affairs.
really unfortunate for the Chores, but quite fortunate for Manhack in that
Mm-hmm.
situation. He was able to get a level up on the thrower, which is going to be really nice for him to be able to get possibly dodge on there or something of the sort to kind of keep his thrower safe and have a reliable ball carrier. Mm, and the Chorfs get a nice level up on a blocker. So hopefully they will be able to do a bit of moving around for the Chorfs. Hopefully try to make up for that Bull Centaur death. I know that is an expensive unit.
Yeah,
And for Manhack, really looks like he just is going to keep developing and wants to continually push the agility advantage of the humans on a more bashy league as the college league is.
yeah, definitely a lot of yeah, a lot of bash all over all the divisions.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like Broken City got a claw on that Chorf, so
Yep.
he's going to be trying to put the hurt on some people.
Yeah, gearing up to take down some of those orcs, for instance.
Mm-hmm. We can go ahead and move on to the next game. Is going to be an orc game. Orc versus Lead Pipes Bretts, I do believe.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, dope tiers are definitely Brett.
Yeah, and a nice tied game. The ball seems to have been held a lot by the orcs, and the Bretts were seems like they were just got kind of bashed a bit. There's a lot more armor breaks on the side of the orcs, and they were able to just keep a hold of the ball and keep the Bretts from pushing their agility advantage compared to orcs too much.
Oh, Aim, I think I might have seen your diagram on that fly by the Discord with the nice red arrow scrolls on that particular wrestle that he missed. Um,
Ooh, that is really unfortunate for lead pipe. I mean, yeah. Other than that, this looks kind of like a pretty cut and dry game. Some nice Kaz's on both sides.
Yeah,
Good level ups for the Bretts.
yeah. The Brett's got nice levels. The Orcs did not do so well level wise. Like they got a Blitzer. Um, they
Hmm.
must have lost a Blitzer in a previous game
I
with
think
that
they had
loner
one
Lino.
MNG.
Oh, an MMG. Okay.
Yeah, they had an MNG last week. So other than that, they do um, have a little bit of SPP to gain on some of those other blitzers, but they're pretty close to level ups. But yeah, it's a seems like a pretty simple game. The Bretts will take some nice level ups on those blitzers and hopefully able to be able to push that advantage with a little bit more versatility on their future matches.
Yeah.
And you can go ahead and move on to the next game.
Yep.
It's the Iron Maiden Van Halen's versus the Midnight Special. The Chaos versus I think Amazons. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this game is really interesting, if I remember correctly. The Iron Maiden Van Halen's were able to get some really nice level ups this game and take it 2-0 with the possession disadvantage.
Yeah. I'm shocked at this outcome. I would have expected the Amazon to stand up a little better, given the lack of skills on the Chaos side. Um,
Yeah, I think I definitely agree with you. Chaos early on with the lack of skills usually struggles, but it seems like they were able to play their game and get some constant possession of the ball and just be able to. Well, they were also able to surf, so they were
oh,
able to
that's
do
true.
some removals and kind of push their player advantage.
Yeah.
They do walk away with a dead Beastman.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a Beastman. It seems like that's not something. It's a Beastman that didn't even have any SPP. Probably not much to
Yeah,
worry about.
and the Amazons get to walk away with no severe injury.
Yeah, they leveled a catcher, um, but yeah, not a lot of. Not. I mean, well, the level on the warrior is pretty is going to be pretty key going into next week. I would say
Yeah,
for the chaos team.
yeah, he took. I remember him taking. I think it was interesting because he didn't take block.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he actually took Mighty Blow.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It looks like he's trying to play a heavy kill game.
Yeah.
Um, Thankfully, the warrior that did get MNG'd was actually the already armor broken one,
Oh, uh huh.
so he's not losing too much with that injury. But that was a really interesting level up. I saw people talking about it in the Discord earlier.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that plays out for him uh, as the season wears on.
For sure. Uh,
All right.
Go ahead and move on to the
Yep.
second to last game. Magical Misery Tour versus Short and Defensive. And this is Necromantic versus Dwarfs. Um, this game is, if I remember correctly, this game was just played really well bash wise by the Necromantic team. They seem to be able to have used that claw and guard with their werewolf in white and just break some armor, as well as short and defensive took two Kaz's that weren't caused by the Necro.
Dwarfs
So
trying to do elf things maybe. Uh,
wait till we get to my game this week and we'll talk about dwarves doing elf things. but yeah, this game seemed to be pretty interesting. They also had two really bad injuries on the sides of the dwarfs. With a
Mm,
one pretty rough is with a down movement on a runner,
yep.
and with that, it really makes a runner pretty bad. Being their
Right.
only movement five.
Yeah. So
Well,
expect to see him get the boot. Whenever
mm-hmm.
I would say probably whenever they can pick up a replacement, or maybe even earlier to just avoid any SPP going the wrong way.
Yeah, for sure. The agility down on the blitzer, I don't know if that's too much of a hindrance,
Yeah, it
as
feels like not as big a deal.
yeah, dwarves shouldn't do elf things in the first place. But other than that, he didn't get enough SPP on any of his players to level up. So the dwarves are kind of sad leaving this week.
Yeah.
Uh, but the Necro's really happy because next week his other werewolf that already has block, if I'm not mistaken, comes back.
Oh.
Or already has Mighty Blow.
Yeah, I
His
was
other
wondering what
werewolf
he
has Mighty Blow.
whether he had to where okay, yeah, so he's got Mighty Blow on one. No, he picked up
Let
Mighty
me
Blow on the guy that
on
leveled
that one.
this
Yeah.
one this time.
So it
Um,
looks like that one's becoming his killer, and he was able to pick up guard on the white. Uh, really hope trying to push the bash advantage next
yeah.
week. But a
Aim,
nice
you
1-0
seem
victory.
very upset about something. I'm sure he'll fill us in a second. Uh,
But yeah, the insight of the awesome aim. Uh, so we can go ahead and kind of move on to the next game or the last game of America's B.
yep.
The Natural Iceman, the Norse team versus I'm not even going to try to say that other name. The other Amazon team in America's B. And the Amazons were actually able to take this one. And what's really interesting about this game to me was the fact that the Amazons took the bash really heavily to the Norse and
Oh
got a
yeah.
ton of armor breaks.
Well, I mean, 58 bash, like 58 blocks. The uh,
Mm-hmm.
the Norse must have been basing up way quite aggressively. Um, but yeah,
Yeah,
and then
with
AV7 did did work.
they seem like the with the possession advantage of the Amazons just holding onto the ball the whole time. I think you're right. The Norse just tried to base up too much, trying to prevent scores, and they kind of were able to do that, only bringing the game to a 1-0. But they took a lot of heavy hits for it.
Yeah. No no bad injuries on the North side though. So
And for the Amazons, they do lose a line woman,
yeah.
but the basic unit they'll be looking to replace her if they don't already. Well, they already have 13 players, so they'll be fine with that loss.
No,
Get
they
a
don't.
level up
They
on
don't have
that.
13. They just have gaps in their roster. It looks like, unless they have a someone who is
Who's
out.
refilled?
I'm just the at least position 5 was empty.
Yeah,
No,
five
they
is
do have
empty.
13.
Wow.
It looks like
Okay.
5 was a catcher maybe that was out this last,
Hmm.
or maybe there was a blitzer. I don't know. It does look like they have a full 13, or that they have 13 players. So
Yeah, five was a
um,
catcher that was out this game, but they won't be too sad to have that death. It'll bring them down to 12. They'll still have a small bench.
it looks like they might have even filled refilled the bench already. Um,
Refilled
I'm
slot
seeing
9.
13.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they already did. Well,
big
they just
team.
seemed they were able to push that agility advantage, and even on top of that, bash the Norse, which was really interesting. Well, if you'd like, we can go in and you can take back over and move on to America's C.
Sure. Um, yeah. All right. So America's Seed, so your division, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we had Theeds and Calisad, which again they didn't get played. Probably won't get played. Looks like again. I think the uh, the Nurgle team. It looks like Aang is just out for the season.
Yeah.
Um, so Moose and the Big Flexen and the Graveyard Goofs comes away with a 0-0 tie. Uh, a lot of blocks on the undead undead. I think yeah, on the undead
Yeah.
side.
Okay.
Um,
This was a really interesting game. There was a lot of KOs on the side of the undead, and they were able to use that to just push their numbers advantage most of the game. As well as there was a few missed things by Moose, few overcommitments,
mm,
and one block on the ball carrying ghoul, where he went for a one die with block instead of a possible two die with block.
uh-huh.
I think was the real turning point of that game, and it ended up he was able to save it and round the end of the game get a nice block on the carrier and kind of get the ball further down the field. But the game was pretty interesting. There's a lot of bashing in the middle of the field.
Looks like Moose is not coming away with it with much to show at all. An injury on a loner lino, MVP on a
Mhm.
loner lino, so a whole one SPP worth of development there. Just,
Yeah, really unfortunate for Moose.
yeah. Um,
On the other side,
the
the
Goofs leveled up a Skelly, so that's not also not super important.
right.
Um,
So it was other than the interesting game to watch, it was kind of an uneventful match. A lot of them just holding onto the ball and not really being able to move uh, on Moose's side from numbers disadvantage, and by the Graveyard Goose from Moose's way to set up screens and
oh
be able to
yeah.
base on guys.
All right, and then we got Stitch City Mongrels and Lizard Leagueries. Another tie, 1-1 this time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so mid 40s block count, pretty even game from a removal perspective. It looks like
Yeah,
the Mongrels were doing a lot of fouling. It would appear, given their 2 expulsions. Um,
yeah. But what do you expect from zombies?
yeah. Well, does he have? I guess he's got a 12
Yeah,
12-man
got a 12
roster.
man roster.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. The 2 wolves at pretty high SPP counts.
Yeah, he's actually one of the scarier people in our divisions, putting a lot of SPP on his werewolves
Yep.
in each of his games, and that's the
Yeah.
scariness
Touchdown
of
and MVP
Necros.
on the same wolf in the same game is pretty solid. So 2 block
Mhm.
wolves.
Yep.
And then on the lizard side, looks like they didn't really get a chance to develop much. Didn't really take much
Yeah.
damage. So uh, kind of
They
a
were pretty much able to get a touchdown on a skink and MVP on a Saurus.
yeah.
I have a feeling that the do you still get the SPP if regenerate goes off?
No, I don't believe you do.
Yeah, there's a possibility there's some regenerate things that happen there,
Oh, right.
and that can really be a hindrance to putting SPP on some of your big guys like the Saurus.
Yeah. I mean, they only got 2 KOs. I don't know. I guess I don't know how a regen counts. Like, I'm sure it counts
I'm
in the
not
armor
sure.
break, but I don't know if it counts anywhere else.
Yeah, I don't understand these new races.
Oh, AIM says you do get SPP if regen pops. I really had thought I'd seen places where the regen popped and did not it didn't list the casualty, but uh, I will
Mm,
trust him on that.
I will as well.
Um,
Well, it just seems kind of like a really even game.
yep. So I pulled up the next one, Orc and Beans and the Dead Dirty Dozen. Um,
Mm,
the it looks like the Dirty Dozen went to. Oh no, it was the Orcs that went to Block City.
mhm.
60 blocks to 35 on the undead side. Not
Yeah,
not a lot to show
e-
for it actually. The undead got more
exactly.
KO and more Kaz. Um,
Looks like the dice just weren't on the orc side
yeah,
when it comes to injury rolls.
yep, yeah. They
And
got the armor breaks, but I mean, not still not really in proportion to the number of blocks they got, but
mhm.
not nothing in the way of removals to help them down the field.
Yeah, thankfully they did get two serves, so it seems like there may have been a bit of a positional advantage
Yeah,
from the orcs, but they didn't get much from it. They ended up getting a level on a black orc, which is going to be nice for them,
yep.
and
Goblin
the
picked up the
MVP on a
MVP.
goblin. That's quite unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean it's not quite as bad as a Lino, but or a loner Lino rather, but yeah,
Hmm.
not doing you a lot of favors there.
On the
Um,
other hand, the Dead Dirty Dozen did get three level ups.
yeah, that's some good a good outcome from that one. Um,
Hmm.
level up the other ghoul, a white and a mummy. It's
Yeah, they're probably going to be coming into their next game with a bit of guard and a little bit more or less vulnerable second ghoul. So
yep.
they'll be able to make blocks a little bit easier and run around the ball a little bit easier as well.
And then
My
last
game.
match, your game. Well, talk us through it.
So this game was really interesting. I received the ball first half and actually didn't score at all during my receiving drive. I almost gave up a score due to a little bit of overcommitment on one side of the ball and left myself open for a few serves. I ended up only getting one taken on me. Uh, going I was able to throw a lot more blocks around with him trying to put guys in position to surf me and
Mm,
put his guys in a little bit of a weird position. However, I wish I could find the stats for this. This how many dodges, 3+ dodges these dwarfs roll like was insane. I can remember close to 10 of them with no rerolls. It's crazy.
yeah,
Second half,
that's
I was just able to take the Kaz's that I had gotten from the first half and push my numbers advantage on him a lot and kill a which one was it? The
kill the
blocker
blocker.
turn 16 for the level up on a black arc. Nice.
Nice, nice.
And stalled the game a little bit so I didn't have to give the ball back to him at the too early
Mm-hmm.
in the second half. But overall, I was just given the advantage of being able to throw a lot more blocks at his guys and led to more armor breaks.
Aim was commenting that this was part of Lanky's 24-hour stream. Do you know how many hours in he was at that point?
Not very far. He had played two games with Jeff before me.
Okay.
It was really early in the stream because he even made a joke about playing him later on in the stream. I played him on what was it, Friday at midnight my time. I think it's 1 o'clock his time. Um, it it was that first night of his stream,
Uh huh.
and he didn't seem too happy to be playing dwarfs in the first place. After he's like, this is his third match with dwarfs. He's kind of getting bored of them.
Do you know if he has had played them in the past, or was it just a like got to pick
I
something for college?
I think this was the first dwarf team he made.
Mm,
Um, However, I got some super solid level ups. I was able to finally get block on one of my black orcs and start to develop a blitzer for doing some killing. So
nice. All right, so that rounds out this last week. We did not do so well on the predictions. We're called two of them and missed the eight of them. So
nice.
a good. We can only go up from there. I mean,
Right.
that is not true. We could certainly go. We could keep going down, but hopefully we only go up.
Hopefully.
Let's see. So what do we got for? What do we have coming up?
So the first game of America's A, the Dearest Children and Studious Stags. Like we talked about earlier, the Dearest Children may not be coming back.
Yep.
Then the second game is your game.
Yeah. So I'm playing Linkletter and his and Two Dog Day. Um, I was able to get Mighty Blow on a couple of pieces, so that should help my case. And I just have linemen out, um, hoping to
Mm-hmm.
hoping to mostly just keep my high armor pieces away from his wolves and uh, use my Yeti to good enough effect to do what I need to.
Yeah, I think you could take it here.
I've
Uh,
he
they
does
are going to be a hard game.
he doesn't have a lot of block, which I think is gonna that should hopefully
Yeah. Well,
that should
as
be
long as you
helpful.
can avoid the werewolves when you're on offense and punch the werewolves, because he seems like a player that really likes his werewolves to carry the ball.
Yeah, I mean, I
And
imagine that Agi 4 werewolf is going to be the prime ball carrier.
mhm.
Um,
Just be able to punch that one, and I have faith that you could take it away.
yes, aim. I agree. Actual bash teams can definitely. I had a sad time against the orcs last week, so um, we'll see how we come out of it this week. I'm going to perhaps overconfidently give myself the edge on that match.
And
Um,
I'll toss it in with you. I think with a few adjustments and like you said, you have a little bit more punching ability this week. I think you can be able to take it.
Always biased, aim. Always biased. Um, up. So up next we got Super Jail and the Blizzard Lizards. So Orc versus Lizards. Super Jail not looking super developed. Has Mighty Blow on a Blitzer. Um, the Lizards, as we talked about, picked up a bunch of skills this last week. So
Yeah,
I
I'm gonna have to throw it to the lizards. With them having the block advantage on their strength. Are they strength four or strength five?
yeah, their strength
Strength-
4. The
On their strength four pieces as compared to the black orcs not having it
yep.
on Super Jail side. I think I'll have to throw it to the lizards.
Yeah, I would lean that way as well. They don't have enough cash to pick up a Crocs, but I think the three block Saurus should be pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got Candymen and Capsicum Commandos. So Orc and Kislev. The Kislev got spattered around this week, as if I remember correctly. Although it looks like they didn't suffer too badly from it. They got a strength up blitzer and a
Mm-hmm.
block blitzer, so that's Uh,
Those are
those
good
are
level
some
ups. The strength
nice,
up is really nice.
yeah. Um,
But the biggest issue is still going to be those armor 7 catchers, in my opinion.
mm, yep,
Um, and when I played Woodies as orcs, I learned if you can blitz an armor 7 and you do it, you Kaz and you kill.
yeah,
But
yeah. I
there isn't a
mean,
lot of development on the set.
no,
Oh,
they've got, so it looks like Pez Dispenser has not. Now it looks like they haven't spent their SPP. Um,
right. So depending on where
so
they
they,
throw those,
yeah, I could see if those two blitzers get, they have strength access, right? So they could pick up
Mhm.
Mighty Blow, which would be, uh, I think would lend to shortening the Kislev team's life expectancy somewhat.
Yeah, I think with Candyman and the way he's played in the past couple of games, I think I'm gonna throw it to the orcs. They have a little bit more cash as well, so they may throw that into a third reroll
Oh
or
yeah,
or a bench, and I think I'm gonna throw it to Candyman.
I I'm inclined to agree, especially having just played the orcs. I'm scared of them.
Orcs can be very scary.
And then last, Skull Raisers and Dark Elves Rising. Skull Raisers coming into this having stomped guys last week, and with a lot of block. Um,
Hmm. Coming in with a lot of block against the Dark Elves, which is really good. Um, Means that they are going to struggle to hit their ghouls, which are most likely going to be the ones holding the ball.
yep,
Uh, and with if they struggle to hit them as Dark Elves, they're going to struggle to push their agility advantage too heavily on them. As well as they'll be missing a blitzer this game,
yep,
so that
yep.
puts
They'll
them.
have a lot of loners, two blitzers, and a witch elf. The undead have a bench. They're up to 13 players, so I would
Yeah,
expect some heavy fouling if they can ever get the blitzers or the witch elf down. Um,
yeah, I definitely have to agree. The Dark Elves do have a bit of cash, so they may throw it at a player, but
True.
even then they're going to come in with two loners.
Do they? How many? What's the number of? Can they have four blitzers on a team?
I'm
I
not
don't.
sure.
I
I
don't know
haven't
enough
I
about
haven't
the
played
like
Elves.
compositional. I mean, it seems like a blitzer is the way to go because like I'm in the same position they are where I've got linos out and
Hmm.
like there's no point in buying more linos because you're just gonna get loners for the upcoming game. You're better off filling out your positionals.
Oh, we could buy another witch.
He, yeah, he could. Um, I don't know. I feel like for this match coming up, probably the blitzer is going to be a better pickup. Um, the witch is lightly armored. Frenzy could can be as much trouble as it is help, and
Hmm.
the undead have enough block that I feel like a third block piece is probably a
Yeah,
safer bet.
I have to agree with you. Still, I think I have to throw it to the undead. They've played
Oh
really well.
yeah, yeah, that's definitely where who my money would be on. Oh, I guess there's also inducements. They'll get the Dark House will pick up. I guess about like 160. Not sure what they can do
Yeah,
with that, but
wizard.
yeah, they can get a wizard. So that's I mean the wizard could be good for basically like a score on its own. Um,
Yeah,
since elves can do elf things. Um,
elves use wizards very effectively.
yeah. Still, I would worry that their team is just going to get bashed to smithereens and not be able to limp home.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty. Go ahead and move on to America's B.
Yep.
Uh, First match of this week is Men of the West versus Iron Maiden Van Halen. So Manhack uh, versus Servantwell. This one, I am not 100% sure. Manhack has a lot of ups on some really key players. And the Chaos is missing a warrior this week with a lot less development, as well as taking that mighty blow on the warrior instead of block. I think is really going to be a hindrance to them this week.
Yeah. I'd put this pretty squarely in the humans column. I just think the sort of breadth of development on them versus 3 strength 4 pieces, it doesn't feel like there's a lot. It feels like the chaos is probably going to struggle. They don't really have their kill engine going yet.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree.
Yeah, Aim, that's true. It was they did beat the Amazons last week, so they had something going for them. It would be
Yep.
interesting. It would be interesting. I don't know if they got if it was like dice last time or if it was played well or probably some combination of both.
Mm,
But I think
I
I would still give the humans the edge.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Uh, Go ahead and move on to the next game, the Magical Misery Tour versus Dope Deer Sigmar Shame. Yep, that's how that word said.
Yep.
Um, the, the Bretts have quite a bit of development. Putting dodge on both of their blitzers is really nice, making them hard to hit. Putting some guard on that blocker.
Yeah, I mean both teams have pretty solid development. Really.
Hmm.
Um,
As well as all that cash on the side of the Bretts. Uh,
oh wow. Yeah, they
I
have
wonder what they're going to do with that.
buckets of money. They're going to want to spend that just to not be inflating TV, I would imagine. Um,
I agree. Um,
Maybe a bench foul.
Maybe a bench, another reroll.
4, 8. I mean, they've got leader on one of their blitzers too, so
Yeah, that was an interesting level up. I was really intrigued by that so early on.
yeah. I mean, maybe they were just feeling crunched for rerolls, and it was easier than saving up for one. But
Hmm.
yeah, I'm not sure who I'd give the edge to here.
I'm not 100% sure. I want to give it to the Bretts because I think the level ups that they have are a little bit more impactful.
Yeah,
But if the Necro are able to play their werewolves play their werewolves well and be able to Kaz a lot, they can push the punch.
I mean, I really think I think either team could take it without. It's not too much of a stretch to put it either way. Um, I think I'd go out on a limb and give it to the Bretts, and maybe we can beat this week's results.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think the Bretts can pull it off. And for the next one is the Natural Iceman versus the Dwarfs, but crazier. Norse versus Chaos Dwarfs.
Yep.
Norse are, well, I guess they didn't get too bashed up last week, but they're really lacking in development.
Yeah,
One
Agi up on a
good one on
runner.
the runner, though.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
like that's a uh, it feels like a useful skill maybe down the line. I'm not sure it's going to help that much against the Chorfs. I mean, he doesn't have
Hmm.
dodge, so that doesn't really factor in. Like it makes ball pickups a little easier, um,
Yeah.
and I guess it
Uh,
makes dodging out easier because tackle isn't actually going to be a thing.
right. I think it
Um,
also it opens up a little bit of possible passing opportunities for the Norse. Not generally a passing team, but have the ability to do so with that Agi 4.
yeah. On the other side, the Chaos Dwarf basically have zero development versus this Norse team. The claw
Hmm.
is really not going to be much of a factor. I mean, yes,
Yeah,
there's the Ulfs and the Yeti that have AV8,
but
but
other
they
than that,
both move pretty
everything else.
fast relative to the move four blocker. Um,
Yeah, the Yeti comes with claw as well. So if the Yeti's able to base up on some dwarfs and just punch, it's gonna get casualties.
yeah, um,
I kind of want to throw it the Norse's way.
yeah. I mean, I think the AV9 on the Chorfs can make like it could look a lot like the my game with the orcs. I feel like pretty
Mhm.
easily, and um,
As well as Churchill down a bull centaur.
right, that's good. Yeah, that's a good point. Aim, and yeah, that the bull centaur only having one does mean that they're gonna be super slow.
And they're coming into the game with two loners. Yeah, I think I'd definitely throw it to the Norse.
Yeah, feels pretty reasonable.
And then the thing, but once again, not gonna try. Versus the Wild Skull Bashes, the Amazon versus Orcs. This is going to be an interesting game to see with the Amazons having a little bit of guard now and a little bit more block on one of their catchers.
Mm-hmm.
They are going to be able to play a little bit more bashy. The and the Orcs haven't leveled up that Blitzer yet, but they don't have much development either.
Yeah,
With that, I'm not sure which way to point this game at all.
I I think deliberately not looking at chat to try and not let whatever aim is saying influence my vote. I think the Amazons might have this. I think they're going to stand up better to playing the bash game than the Norse did than I did as Norse with
Mm-hmm.
having dodge on all their pieces plus block on the blitzers. I
Mm-hmm.
think the Black Orcs could prove troublesome. Um,
Yeah, they really just have to push their agility advantage. The
yeah,
Amazon can take it.
so I think I'm going to give it to the Themyscirans.
Yeah, and I'll agree with you there.
Guess we have both
The
coaches in chat.
oh, apparently, well, prove us wrong or prove us right. Up to you guys. So the last game of America's B is the shortened defensive versus the midnight special. The other Amazon team versus dwarfs.
Yep, I feel like that is gonna be a lot harder for the Amazons to pull off given the given the tackle on the blockers.
Hmm.
Um,
I agree. Uh,
ooh,
However, the dwarves are
dwarves
coming
are
in zero. and 3 loners.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's a rough. Uh, they've had a rough set of injuries.
hmm Had a lot of skill downs.
Amazons have looks like they got a guard on a catcher, and that's their only development.
hmm
Um,
But dwarves are missing a blitzer and a runner this game,
yep,
so I feel like they're gonna struggle a lot to touch the ball at all.
right.
Um,
I mean they have one runner, so they can at least like they could ball handle with that one, and
mhm.
then just inch up the pitch.
And they do have the tackle, which really limits the Amazons' ability to play around with their full team dodge.
Mm, that's an interesting point, aim about the loners having tackle when they come in. So those two, not having the blitzer or the runner, gives them essentially 50% tackle on their team.
Mm.
Um, More because
Uh,
they're down they have a death. Yeah, so they lost a blocker. They had a blocker die, so they're gonna have 7 tackle pieces in this
ooh,
game, all of whom are going to be AV9
yeah, that makes it a
and
lot harder
block.
for
I
Amazon.
I think the dwarves have. I think the dwarves take this one.
I
Um,
th- I think I'll have to agree with you, uh, especially now realizing that the dwarves with their tackle are just going to be able to keep the Amazons from running around.
yeah.
And with that, we are moving on to America's C.
All right. Let's see. Theeds and Stitch City Mongrels. So the Theeds are going to get probably going to get a buy they're going to get an admin win based on Ankalisad being out.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll have their War Dancer back. They had I guess those were all Linos that died. Um,
Yeah,
they
I killed a lot of them.
um, they don't have they won't. I don't know. Are they going to have both their? How much cash do you get on an admin win? Because they have 90
It's a
now.
1-0 win with 1 touchdown, two MVPs,
So it
and they'll be able to roll cash.
right. So it really depends on whether they get enough cash. Um,
Mm-hmm.
oh, both dice rolls plus 10K. All right. So they can get the War Dancer no matter what.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. So with the second War Dancer, they'll be coming in pretty nice. Still no real development, but they'll have a little bit of a better roster.
yep. Um, and then on the other side, Stitch City is has the 2 block werewolves. Um, Not really any development in the rest of the team, but
No, but a
um,
two-player bench, so he's going to be more than willing to foul
yep,
on the important pieces of the Woodies.
yeah.
Um, Here I'm throwing it to Necro myself.
I wonder about that though, because the claw is not gonna do much. Most of the except for the tree, um, the claw isn't a benefit. Um, I guess they probably don't have block on a lot of pieces, so the wolves will hit a little harder than. But they'll be sort of the wolves and the war dancers are going to be pretty similar.
Yeah,
as far as actual damage goes, and then you know, elves can do elf things to run the score up.
possibly. As well as elves are probably going to get a pretty decent sized inducement this game.
Yeah, it's. I mean, we'll see what they actually have come next
Hmm.
match because they're gonna get like the next match TV that's listed here is not gonna be accurate
Right,
because they'll
because
get
they'll
their
get.
like the ward ans- they'll get both ward answers. They'll get levels potentially.
Hmm.
Um, I think I'd give the edge to the elves. Um, but I guess we will see.
See, that is for sure. It'll be an interesting game. That's a guarantee.
Yep.
Either be really bloody or really.
I mean, it's probably going to be really bloody. Like when you're playing elves, the elves are usually going on the floor. Um, but
Mm-hmm.
all right. Well,
On to the next game.
yeah. So orc and beans and big flexin. So orcs versus humans, equivalent TV. Um,
He's gonna get Big Flexen's gonna end up with two loners this match. Uh, as well as I think that armor value down on the ogre is gonna be a big impact for this game.
yeah. On the other hand, he's got the two guard blitzers, which should help him prop up his line pretty effectively. I don't.
Yeah.
The orcs don't have any guard yet anyway. Oh no,
Hmm.
they've got levels up on they've got block on their black orcs, but that's the only development they have so far. Um,
Yeah, that's pretty good to have to get getting block on your black orcs. Makes your line of scrimmage a lot stronger. Um, Also keeps the humans from pushing a block advantage.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
The orcs outnumber on block pieces.
yeah, I think I agree with aim a bit here. The block on the black orcs really make me favor the orcs here as well as the double linos for big flexin and the minus armor on the ogre.
Right.
Um, I favor the orcs in this game.
Yeah, I think I agree. So Serial Slayers is up against Ankalisag. So probably, well, either an admin match or they get a replacement for Ankalisag.
Mhm.
Hopefully the latter, so that Slayers actually get a game. Um,
Yeah, I do hope I get a game.
yeah, that's right. That's you. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, good luck on that. Um,
Yeah, the next game just looking to do more of the same stuff. Develop more blitzers, get more block on black orcs, and yeah, bash to victory.
yep. And then Beer and Brawl and Graveyard Goofs is match 4. So Dwarf and Undead. Um, the Dwarves are looking pretty underdeveloped. They've got a. They've only got one Blitzer. Did they lose a Blitzer? Oh yeah, they lost a Blitzer to an
Yep.
AV break. They do have Mighty Blow on a blocker. On the other side, the Goofs have a movement up ghoul, and a dirty player skeleton, and 12, and the little bit of a bench.
Hmm.
Um, so
I'm really thinking that I want to throw it the undead way. Strength 5 on the mummies is really nice. Their biggest negative being that they are movement 3, but against dwarves that isn't too relevant.
right.
The movement up on the ghoul really gives it a nice advantage to be able to severely outrun the entire dwarf team.
Yeah, I mean, if the dwarves lose, they've only got the one runner, um, and then only three pieces with movement 5. So that ghoul could pretty quickly run away from the rest of the team.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. And
yeah,
with
I
the
think
dirty player on the side of the undead, they're going to be more than willing to throw some fouls against those higher movement pieces like the troll
right,
slayers or the
right.
runner.
Yeah, I think undead seems like a good call here.
Definitely agree.
And then last match, Dirty Dozen and Dead Dirty Dozen and Lizard Leagueries. Undead and Lizard Men. Undead looks to be coming into it with pretty good development. Guard on a mummy, block, and movement up on a ghoul.
Yeah, movement up
Mighty blow on
on
a white. Yeah, those are all pretty.
and 14 players.
Oh, yeah.
Um, and the lizards really have no development and strength down ink, which generally doesn't sound too bad, but it makes 3 dies
I mean,
incredibly easy.
yeah. I more
And
or less can't help but get a 3 die on that skink.
yeah, and it pretty much means that skink dies very quickly.
Yep.
I think this one's kind of cut and dry.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems pretty stacked on the undead side.
I definitely agree.
All right. Well, that closes out the matches for this week. Got our predictions recorded. We'll see how they come out. Um,
It has been a great time. I
yeah.
appreciate you,
Thanks for
man.
thanks for coming on. I was realizing as we were doing this that I don't have chat up in the stream, so anyone who's watching it later on YouTube is going to be getting some. Is going to see me talking to chat without actually having the conversation back. So I'll try and fix that for next week. Um, and but yeah, thank you all for coming out. Looks like we got a good chunk of I don't even know. Certainly a good chunk of Americas. I don't know if we have any of the Euro divisions representing here, but yeah, thanks you guys for watching, and we'll see you next week. Good
Take
luck
care.
on good luck on your matches. Except Linkletter, if you're here, no luck for you.